You step into the garden on a bright morning, the sun slicing through the trees. For a brief moment you feel good, then you glance down. The lawn is thin, patchy, more a suggestion of grass than a true carpet. You've watered it, fed it, done everything you thought was required, yet it looks exactly the same as it did 6 months ago. The truth is that thin grass isn't the result of bad luck. It's caused by 3 common mistakes most homeowners make without realizing it, and most of the advice out there actually worsens those errors. In the next 15 minutes, I'll explain how to double the thickness of your lawn in 14 days without expensive equipment or a full lawn replacement by following 3 precise actions in the right order at the right time. That's why your grass is thin. Grass thickens through a process called tillering. Instead of only growing taller, each grass plant sends out horizontal shoots at its base, tillers, that become new plants, which then produce their own tillers. Tillering is the engine of a dense lawn. Most people assume that nitrogen, the main ingredient in lawn fertilizer, drives this process. In fact, tillering is triggered primarily by light reaching the base of the plant, specifically the ratio of red to far red light at soil level. When you cut the grass too short, light hits the base directly. The plant interprets this as exposure and puts all its energy into growing upward, not sideways. You end up feeding a lawn that keeps racing upward only to be mowed back down again, essentially running a treadmill. Mistake 1T, mowing too low. The first most important change costs nothing. Raise your mowing height. Most domestic mowers are set between 25 and 30 millimeters, which is far too low. Adjust the deck to between 40 and 50 millimeters, about 1.5 to 2 inches. At this height, the base of each plant receives diffused light, the tiller signal fires, and lateral growth begins within days. Mistake 2, compacted soil. A thin lawn also suffers from shallow roots. When roots are only 10 to 15 millimeters deep, the plant can't reach moisture or nutrients below the surface. One dry week or a single heavy footfall can set it back. The underlying cause is compacted soil, which lacks the air pockets roots need to grow downward. Without oxygen, roots spread sideways near the surface and stop, starving the plant while it sits on perfectly good soil it cannot access. A quick test will tell you how compacted your soil is. Push a standard screwdriver into the lawn using only hand pressure. If it slides in easily to the full blade length, the soil is reasonably loose. If it stops after 20 or 30 millimeters and you have to force it, the soil is compacted. Keep this result in mind. It will determine which method you prioritize next. Mistake 3, improper overseeding. Most people, when they decide to thicken their lawn, head to the garden center, buy a bag of grass seed, scatter it over the existing turf, water, and wait. 2 weeks later, there's little change, leading them to blame bad seed or weather. The real problem is the surface. Grass seed needs direct contact with soil to germinate. When you spread seed over an existing lawn without preparing the surface, most seeds land on a mat of old grass blades and dead thatch. They may sprout briefly, but without soil contact, the tiny roots dry out and die. Step 1. Scarification. Scarification removes the thatch layer. A dense mat of dead grass stems, moss, and organic debris that builds up between the soil surface and the base of living grass. When thatch exceeds 10 millimeters, it blocks water, air, and seed from reaching the soil. Use a spring-tine scarifying rake, not a regular garden rake. The curved tines dig into the thatch and pull it up. Work first in parallel lines across the lawn, then diagonally across those lines. Expect several full-size bags of thatch from a medium lawn. This is normal. If your lawn is larger than 40 square meters, consider hiring a mechanical scarifier for a day. It does in 30 minutes what would take 3 hours by hand and reaches deeper, which matters. Scarify on a dry day when the soil is slightly moist, not waterlogged, not bone dry, so the tines have resistance to pull the thatch cleanly. Step 2 on aeration. Once the thatch is cleared, the soil surface will appear as a dull gray-brown, often compacted. Aeration creates holes that allow air, water, and nutrients to penetrate deeper. There are 2 types. Spike aeration pushes solid spikes into the soil. It creates a hole, but also compresses the surrounding soil, which can negate the benefit. A hollow tine aeration removes a core of soil, typically 10 to 12 millimeters in diameter and up to 100 millimeters deep, leaving an open channel. This method physically removes compacted material and leaves clean pathways for roots. If possible, hire a hollow tine aerator. Work in a grid pattern, aiming for holes every 10 to 15 centimeters across the lawn. Leave the extracted cores on the surface. They will break down naturally within a week, returning organic matter to the soil. Step 3. Overseeding. With thatch gone and soil aerated, the surface is ready for seed. Choose the right seed for your conditions. A shade-tolerant fescue blend for shaded areas. A hard-wearing ryegrass mix for high-traffic zones. For overseeding, apply roughly 35 grams of seed per square meter, more than most people use. Spread the seed evenly with a handheld or wheeled broadcast spreader, making 2 passes horizontal and diagonal, just as you did with the scarifier. Lightly rake the surface with the back of a garden rake to ensure seed to soil contact. A ½ centimeter of coverage is sufficient. Water immediately. Cease watering after seeding. The final mistake most people make is watering only once heavily and then leaving the lawn for 2 or 3 days. Grass seed needs consistent moisture during germination, neither waterlogged nor dry. Water lightly twice a day, morning and early evening for the first 14 days. If the surface dries out at any point, germination stops and the seed cannot recover. By day 7, you'll see a green haze of fine seedlings. By day 14, the new growth will be dense enough to be visible from standing height. Thus, why the sequence matters. Scarification without aeration leaves a clean surface but shallow roots. Aeration without scarification means seed still lands on thatch. Overseeding without either results in seed on an unsuitable surface. All 3 steps must be performed in order. Skipping any one collapses the system. First, maintaining the thick lawn. Once the new grass is established, many revert to old habits, and the lawn thins again within a season. To prevent that, adopt the following ongoing practices. 1. Mowing, never remove more than 1/3 of the blade in a single cut to the 143 rule. Cut every 5 to 7 days during the growing season, keeping the height at 40 to 50 millimeters. 2. Press feeding after the first 14 days. Avoid high nitrogen fertilizer. Use an establishment fertilizer rich in phosphorus for the first 6 weeks to encourage root depth. Then switch to a balanced spring-summer feed, followed by a high potassium autumn formula from August onward to harden the plant and improve drought and disease resistance. 3. Taupe dressing. Once a year in early autumn, rake a thin 6 millimeter layer of loam, sand, and compost across the surface. This breaks up compaction, levels bumps, and adds fresh organic matter. 4. Watering. Water deeply, not frequently. 2 long watering sessions per week are more effective than daily light sprinklings. Deep watering encourages roots to grow downward, creating a lawn that retains its thickness through heat, drought, and heavy use. Follow the full system. Scarify, aerate, overseed, then maintain with proper mowing, feeding, top dressing, and deep watering. And you'll lock in a thick, resilient lawn that stays lush year after year.